have some conversations, man. Like I said, we talk about it enough. We talk a lot, pretty nice, and let's put some pen to paper and let's talk about some sports. And he's a sports our sports expert. He is our fitness expert. Ron's our talking expert. And I just have to talk, so I think that's a good mix. And that's a good mix. So Ron, you had one or two. Let's start off with you had, man. Let's talk about the ideas and go from there.
Yeah.
Well, apart from what Rodney put in the group, some basketball trivia. What we things to discuss. Like when I was watching First Take, they had a big discussion on who you think was in the lead for MVP race when the league stopped. So that's one of the things. And then the big debates: Jordan or Kobe, LeBron or Kobe, LeBron or Jordan. These debates. The whole Ja Morant Zion thing. If you didn't, Zion could have get the rookie of the year. Or there's things like that. Things we could discuss, agree to disagree, and so on and so forth.
So let's start with one then. Let's start since the first thing you mentioned, the rookie of the year. If the season would end today, would it be rookie of the year? I personally think Zion would get it if the season ended today, mainly because he had that wow factor. I think everybody had that recency bias because even though he played about 20 or so games, I mean, he was jumping up the gym. He made his impact there. And then Ja Morant was just falling back on the right side. If you see the Grizzlies and those 18 to the Pelicans, I think he would get it. That's my opinion.
So you're saying that's how you would vote, or that's how you think people are voting?
Yeah. If I was a voter, so let's do that. If I was a voter, I'm voting for Zion Williams. If I was a voter, I think Zion Williams had a more impactful rookie season in a short space of time in the year. If I was voting.
I disagree. I go on with Ja Morant simply because he put in that work all year, man. And if you add the wow factor to it that Zion has, Zion had the wow factor from before that they stepped foot on an NBA court. You know what I mean? So the wow factor was always there. Yes, he has lived up to the wow factor, but at the same time, you can't discredit what Ja has done with the Memphis Grizzlies. At this point, they're currently the 8th seed. Zion, who has a better team, they're not in the top 8. They wouldn't be in the playoffs if the playoffs started today. And he has a better team. So that's a testament to Ja Morant and his skills and his ability, and the fact that, in my opinion, he should get the rookie of the year.
I agree with Eddie, simply because Zion only played a certain amount of games. And Zion is more, the reason why Zion playing this season to me is more Zion is box office. So Zion stepping on the court, they can fill out the arena. So I don't think they put Zion on the floor to put him in the ability, give him the ability to get the rookie of the year. Because to be honest with you, if they really wanted Zion to play this season, he could have played from, I think, Christmas or so, because he was ready to go for a while. But I guess to fill up the seats or whatever the case was, they bring him back. But I agree with Ja Morant only because what happened to Zion. Normally, Zion would have been my vote.
Yeah, I mean, just watching it, just the highlight reels and then watching one or two games, yeah, Zion is box office, but I think because the time Memphis played, like you all know what's Morant, he's box office as well, my brother. He's knocking off dudes, he's game-winning shots, he crossing doors over. He is box office as well. And the reality situation, consistency and longevity matters. And I think Eddie is probably a Jordan fan, correct?
Correct.
So there's a time Harold Miner was baby Jordan. So if we want to do part of a career, if we want to do 1 year, then we'll have the next Jordan. So, consistency matters. We don't know how good or how great he would have been. Last year, Luka Doncic won it, but Trae Young started off horrible. If the season went longer, Trae Young would have won it. But he started off too far back, so you can't just take a pocket and say, if this or if that. What Herman Edwards said, that's why we play the games. And Morant showed it over a longer period of time, so I don't even think it's a discussion. I just think it's more hype to even have him in consideration because people automatically thought he was going to be the rookie of the year. It's similar to when, to me, Blake Griffin won the dunk competition. That year, when he jumped over the car, like I mean, I know dudes who barely dunking who could do that, you know. So that wasn't the wow dunk. So it's like it was name recognition, you know. So yeah, I mean, it's a clear choice to be Ja Morant for me.
All right, so
Jay,
let's go.
Jay, I got a quick question before we move on. From a fitness point of view, Zion and his size, do you think this would be an issue for him going forward in terms of longevity?
Yes, just because I mean, well, that's a lot of weight and poundage, and the dude is explosive. He is not like old big country or all these dudes just coming down. He's explosive, and that's why he's having me. The dude burst open a shoe. I mean, granted, they should change shoes every game, but he wasn't wearing it for 4 years. You know, dudes on the court playing outside shoe lasting longer than his. So you know, so it's the explosiveness, and that's why he was kept out because they were, as I understand it, teaching him how to walk differently because everything is about angles and leverage. So they're trying to teaching him how to walk differently so it'd be less torque on those joints. So that's why he was out, and that's why his minutes were restricted because they're looking at the long term. It reminds you of the time when, I know them two guys too young to remember, but you remember this, Eddie, with Dirk Nowitzki. He hurt his elbow in the playoffs. And Don Nelson kept him out and say, I wouldn't want to jeopardize his entire career for one playoff series. So that's the Pelicans did it smart. They want to invest long term in him so that to bring him back slowly. So those things catch up with you. You know,
how much you think he have to
carry?
How much you think he have to drop? 10, 15, 20?
See, it's so funny.
What would you suggest?
I was 6'6", right?
I was initially thinking, I can't remember how much he dropped so far, but I was originally thinking between 25 to 30. But the dude is, I mean, he's not fat either. You understand what I'm saying? He's he's a mass. So losing that is going to be difficult. But once again, you're making the money to have the best trainers and the chefs and all that kind of stuff to get you where you need to be.
So strong.
Now, I have a question.
Andre, go ahead.
If we look at Zion's game, right? At the size Zion is right now, he's able to play down low and bully power forwards and so on and so forth. How do you think this weight loss will affect his game?
He's explosive. I mean, we're not saying going down to 102. The dude is not size. He's quick. Even if you watch when he goes for a rebound, like he doesn't touch the ground, he's back up. So he's also athletic.
A double jump.
He isn't just a bully, he's athletic. And I think that's part of the problem, what is going to affect his joints because he is so athletic with it, is that, you know, his explosiveness and lateral movement and agility is also like he should be a tight end, bro.
God may mention Jimmy was talking about Blake Griffin. I think that's a good comparison too, because Blake Griffin came into the league trying to jump over everybody, and that probably cut his career in half. I mean, they're trying to put Zion on the paint within his first 20 games. Do you think that would help him? Because his 3-point shot ain't the best shot. I mean, he a couple behind the best. That isn't his game. Do you think he needs just to totally change how he play, even if he can't get the weight off, or what?
No. Well, here's the thing. You got to go what brought you there. That would got him into the league. It's always good. Most rookies who are naturally shooters would develop it over time, and the great ones change their game. Kobe then went to learn how to play on the inside. LeBron learned it now, which as a big dude, you think you would learn it before. Other dudes, Jason Kidd developed a shot. I mean, for where he came from, the way he ended up, so to increase.
Call him Ace. He had no jumper and Jay.
Griffin developed a shot.
He come a long way shooting the ball, boy.
So it all depends.
Come a long way, yeah.
And once you get comfortable, he get comfortable to the rim. And then what he'll realize is that good coaching will show him that once he starts making a mid-range or a 3-point shot, that'll open up the entire game because now we have to guard you. And with someone with his athleticism, if they come close, he's running by you. So, you know, sky's the limit for the kid.
I want to touch on that, Rodney.
No problem.
Yeah, he can't change his game. This what got him here. And, you know, Jay made reference to LeBron, Jordan, Kobe, all of those guys changing their game. But that was sort of a forced change, meaning, you know, they knew they were getting older. Jordan knew he couldn't jump over everyone anymore in 96, 97. So he developed, you know, stronger footwork and relied more on his post game. So eventually Zion's game right, he'll have to change. He'll start shooting more. But for right now, he has to remain that explosive type animal he is currently. So don't change anything. But I do agree that he should get down to about 260, 255 maybe. Currently, he's 6'6", 284.
Okay,
Yeah.
So
Second average for the league.
exactly. So 250, 255 would be, legit, where he could still be dominant, be a beast, but do it more healthily, I would say, for lack of a better term.
I think if he loses weight, this game would be similar to more of like a Charles Barkley. Because Charles Barkley had
unstoppable.
times when he was big.
Charles Barkley brought him too. Where he gave him the league big on 300 pounds.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, so again, I think Zion landed in a good spot with the Pelicans. Alvin Gentry is going around a lot of good head coaches in his career as assistant head coach. And Jason Mo, Phil Jackson, Kobe them, Andy had Kobe. Do you think it's the coaching that makes the great players, or the great players that make the coaches? I.e., Phil Jackson with the Lakers, Pat Riley with the Lakers. Sorry, Phil Jackson, Pat Riley with the Lakers.
Who's question directed to?
Anyone?
All up in, man. Since you scared to take the mic, since you scared to take the mic, I think it goes hand in hand. Some coaches, just like some athletes, some coaches are not built for the big scene. And then some people are just better at developmental. I think if you remember Lenny Wilkins, Don Nelson, I can't remember the coach who had Iverson. Certain coaches,
Larry Brown.
Certain coaches are just better at fundamentals and developing the framework for you to excel. Phil Jackson, he really came into some good situations. Not saying he's a bad coach or he don't develop. Some people just know to take you from good to great. Other people take you from where you are to get you good. So everyone has their role, and then even great athletes need to aspire to be great and want to be coached. Because we have some great athletes who stop putting in the work ethic. Remember Big Dog Glenn Robinson? He was great. Stop putting in the work, and that was that. You have to put in the work continuously.
Teron, you could go next.
All right. Well, on that topic, is it the coach or the players? Well, I stand somewhere in the middle, seeing that I'm a LeBron fan. Over the years, LeBron had so many different coaches, and in the Eastern Conference, the result was almost the same every time. So it does bring the question, is it LeBron or is it the coaching staff? See, he had coaches like David Blatt, who come from the EuroLeague. Well, Mike Brown has been
for a couple of weeks, so that David Blatt. David Blatt for a couple weeks.
I mean, he been to the finals. He been to the finals. And you have Toronto. Toronto win a championship, coaching LeBron. But Toronto is what? Is he even coaching right now?
No, I mean, he's a good coach, but no, he's not.
If you look at the coaches that coach LeBron, right? Mike Brown, not a head coach. David Blatt, not a head coach. Teron Lue, not a head coach. Paul Silas, not a head coach. And these coaches who LeBron carried, well, I wouldn't say LeBron carried this man.
No, he carried them.
Coach LeBron.
Carried them.
I didn't want to say carried because y'all know as a LeBron fan. You see what I'm saying? So I think it goes hand in hand with coach and player. And then when you look at situations like with Phil Jackson, I feel like the first 2 championships or so, or the first 3, was off the strain of Jordan. But after Jordan was gone for about 2 years, I think Phil Jackson realized he got to be the coach. And then when they came back in '96, it was a good dynamic of coach and player together, you know. So
boy, they got robbed in the Eastern Conference Final, like you know.
Well, they wouldn't say wrong because Shaq was killing everyone.
They played Shaq, man.
Shaq was killing everyone.
But they was in it. So what I'm saying is, sorry, go ahead.
I mean,
that's Eddie team, so Eddie can say that's why you need a Jordan. You know, that's why Eddie never go.
And that's the point. See, down to the wire, right? Down to the wire, like you could see, like Phil Jackson used to be fishing for so much things when Jordan was in there. Like the time when Pippen got mad and sit on the bench because he let Kukoc take the last shot. Mind you, Kukoc hit the last shot, but at the same time, he was gambling with different things because Jordan was in there. So I think when Jordan was in there, he's trying out new things. And then when Jordan come back, he's all right. I mean, that's just my view.
Hey, Jerron. The only
Get him,
thing,
Eddie. Get him, Eddie.
the only thing Phil Jackson learned in that 2 years is, buddy, I need Jordan. But
I miss whole joke, man.
but in reference to the coaching, I mean the furthest I played basketball was at the junior college level, right? But to see some of the talented players I played with, man, who couldn't make it or who didn't make it, and then you could look at the 12th guy on the team. The 12th guy on any team in the NBA could step on any court in the country right now in the Bahamas and dominate and look like a superstar. Yeah. So I saying all this to say, I think it was Phil Jackson who made the statement that, look here, once you get to the NBA, the variations between skill levels is really small. So it's not about is Shaq better than Kobe? It's about getting Shaq to play with Kobe. Yeah. So he said, look here, it's 90% mental, 10% X's and O's. So coaching is extremely important at that level. And I think Phil Jackson is a great example of that, because we saw with the Lakers, Shaq, Kobe, Nick Van Exel, Eddie Jones, Del Harris was the coach. Del Harris was the coach, and these fellas couldn't win. In comes Phil. That's a big team. In comes Phil Jackson. He, enhances the chemistry. You can't downplay his triangle offense that he implemented. Next thing you know, fellas win, 3 straight? So coaching is extremely important, especially at that level. The lower you go, college, high school, that's where talent reigns supreme. Yes, coaching will help, don't get me wrong, but Zion step on a high school court, I don't care who you're playing. Any team Zion on is going to win. You see what I'm saying? Now, NBA level, that's where coaching comes in. And to tell the truth, gents, I could be honest, I don't think Alvin Gentry is a good coach. I was happy when Buddy left the Pelicans. Buddy is producing more under Sacramento. Alvin Gentry had the same team Mike D'Antoni had in Phoenix and couldn't do anything with it. You see what I'm saying? But I guess that could segue into our next topic or whatever. But
no, that's a good point.
Gentry, yeah, he definitely. So to me, coaching at the NBA level, it's a 50-50, man. Go ahead, Rodney.
Well, someone say coaching in the NBA, it's more about managing personalities and egos rather than managing minutes and play time.
Exactly.
So to that, you think the next level coach, Phil Jackson and Steve Kerr, because the analogy, Steve Kerr took the same thing Mark Jackson had, and he turned into literally a historic game.
Nah, I have to disagree. They didn't let Mark Jackson had it on the trajectory. Mark Jackson allowed these two dudes to shoot from wherever on the court. People wouldn't allow it. So what happened was that Mark Jackson wouldn't allow to finish bake his cake. He had problems with the ownership, and they got rid of him. That's the reason why Mark Jackson's not in the league. And now you cannot develop that type of team, sort of foresight to transition from Ellis to keep Steph, who had bad ankles. So it was a gamble to keep Steph over Ellis, even though Steph was younger. Bring in Clay and all these type of stuff. So Mark Jackson had this team, and they were on the trajectory to be champions. I'm not saying Steve Kerr is a bad coach. You have to respect him because he did it at all levels: playing, broadcasting, front office. Yeah. So he has a wider view and a wider net of what it takes to run an organization. But I don't think Mark Jackson was given chance to take that team to the promised land. I think other examples can be made.
Even like how you talk, I agree with you to a certain extent, but we just talk about unlocking potential. Because Steve Kerr allowed him to shoot from anywhere outside the gym. That literally was the Warriors style. Because he allowed him to play free with the ball. That made it a culture, made an environment that dominated the league for 4 or 5 years because they was free with the ball. Mind you, had a lot of turnovers. They weren't as consistent as they were under Mark Jackson. That was a proven method.
I would say Mark Jackson introduced that. That's what I'm saying, Rodney.
Jay, let me chime in for a second.
I mean, from my yeah, sorry, Eddie, go.
I disagree with you, Jay. Simply because you made a key point in there that you tried to brush over. He didn't get a chance to finish baking the cake, right? And you said why he didn't get a chance to finish baking the cake. He didn't get a chance because of the internal politics he had with ownership. These things matter, bro. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all can hear me?
We can hear you. I agree. I concur.
So those dynamics and how you handle those dynamics as a head coach matter. You have to have a good and strong relationship with the ownership. Mark Jackson, yes, I give him kudos for carrying the Warriors on that trajectory.
Warriors.
Right. They were on that trajectory to be a great team. Would he have carried them over the promised land? In my opinion, no. Mark Jackson was more defensive minded. He wouldn't have opened up the playbook and let these guys play as loosely as Steve Kerr did. And a testament to Steve Kerr and his background, don't forget, who did he come under? Steve Kerr was coached by who? Phil Jackson.
Popovich,
Exactly. So don't negate those intricate matters as well. You know, so Steve Kerr took some things that he learned from Phil and from Pop. So I think the change was
Mark Jackson, not Larry Bird.
Right. So I think that the change was needed. Mark Jackson is a great coach. And at the same time, I'm not even saying Mark Jackson is less of a coach than Steve Kerr, you know. But for that situation, Steve Kerr was the right choice for that team. Because we all know certain players gel with certain coaches. So a coach may be okay for the Warriors, but may not be good for, you know, a next team. And I think right, exactly.
In my opinion, I think either way, the team, they still would have done well. I think they still would have won.
Right. And Jerron, that's because you believe players matter or players are the most important element. That's why.
Yeah, I don't think the Warriors would win with any coach.
I think the only big difference, apart from play style, what I see Steve Kerr make, is giving Draymond Green a bigger role. Because he ain't had that much of a role when Mark Jackson was there. I mean, other than that, I think they would have been the same.
You know what you're saying, though? He gave them confidence. I think that's really what it is.
That's important.
He gave Draymond the keys to the game and said, hey, well, you can drive, I trust you. And that's important. He unlocked their games. He gave Steph Curry the green light. Steph Curry in the mark. He used to drive the ball a lot, you know. He used to drive the ball a lot. But I mean, shooting from 30, 35, you know. He still drives the ball, but not as much because Steve Kerr will shoot the mark around. Steve Kerr is a spot-up shooter. So he can push spot-up shooter, but Mark Johnson was a post-up player. So Mark Johnson believe I get in the paint.
Yeah, they changed the rules because of Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson just started from the 3-point line, real talk.
But also big guy.
Not real dribble.
Yeah, man. But yeah, Mark Jackson, he was extreme. He was much more defensive minded than Steve Kerr. And I'm not sure if you guys are aware, Steve Kerr implemented a key part to the Warriors offense. He did some studying and research, and he found out that teams who do well offensively, and this before Houston Rockets completely changed the game now, don't get me wrong, because these fellas changing the game completely. But Steve Kerr realized that, look at teams that average more than 300 passes tend to do better offensively. So when he checked the Warriors' previous tapes, he realized that these guys average about, I guess, 270 or 280. So next, he said, guys, look here, let's pass the ball more. They started to average over 300 passes. Fellas, them start winning. You know what I mean? Now, we all could say, man, the fella have Steph and Klay Thompson, who wouldn't win with these guys. But it's these small things that make the difference, especially at that high level.
Yes.
Yeah, log it though. So before we go down, so who, I guess, so Marvel, like how we did for Zion, you think it's the players or you think it's the coaches? I personally think it's the coaches.
What was the question?
We got to choose now. So we debated it. So let's just choose and vote on it.
Hold on. What's the question?
Yeah, choose. Sorry, my bad. It is breaking up. So choose who you think it's the players to make the team or the coaches.
Okay.
Yeah.
Me personally,
Just answer because we are.
I say players.
Coach.
I say players.
I say
NBA
coach.
players.
Hey, after all that debate,
What you say? You ready?
after all that
Players.
debate being pro coaches, I still got to go with the players.
I go with coach because you ready? I
Man.
said you a basketball man. I do this because of you. I say this man no more. I can be slayed, so I get in with you. You know
I
why it's
still
the
gotta
coaches?
side with
You
the
know why it's the
players.
coaches, Eddie? Because
Go ahead.
everyone, it even goes back to cooking. Everyone could have the exact same ingredients,
Hmm.
given the exact same instructions,
That's a great
but
analogy.
everyone is not going to make that dish taste edible. So that's
Great
where
point.
the person who's stewing that pot, that boils down to the coaching. So it's the coaching. No, coaches can't win with duds, but plenty stars ain't winning because of
Hold
bad
on now.
coaching.
Hold on now. Some coaches can win with that.
No, and I think that's why I sided with
Who
players.
duds? What duds? What
Right.
duds win?
Listen to me.
Please tell me who's that.
Some of them team with poor pot. Some of them team with poor pot. Give that to any other coach.
No, man.
No, Bobby never had no damn team, boy.
Tony
Tony
Bobby's
get Hall
Hall
of Fame. Parker
I
get
mean,
Hall of
Nobody's
Fame.
Hall of
David
Fame.
Robinson.
Dog gets Hall of Fame.
Right. Outside
Yeah,
of
Hall of Fame
Parker,
team.
Ginobili, Duncan,
That's the whole Hall of Fame team. That's the whole team. What you mean? The whole team.
apart from them.
Eddie, these
What I'm saying is,
you just mute this man.
No.
Mute this man.
it's the bench players.
Eddie,
Hey,
players
you
who
never-
believe you need 6 superstars on one team.
No, my pop.
No, what I said is some bench players who you
Team
never
and
have
they're
who go
rolling
about
team.
killing niggas.
You had
But
Kawhi.
yeah, there was-
You had Kawhi. Shaq and do it. No, sir. No, sir. You better,
Thank you.
better call it.
Yeah, John. I get one.
If you want to give someone
I get
credit,
one, John.
you better give whoever was coaching. Two teams give credit. Whoever was coaching when LeBron carried that team to the finals, who gets beat, and Larry Brown for carrying
But Iverson,
Sixers to the
Iverson.
finals. With
All it was just
Iverson,
Iverson.
McKinney, all of that. Now,
Eric McKee, Tyrone Hill, the game with Dumbo. That team is damaged.
But
And
this why I side. This why I side with the players in this question. But I do agree because I defended the coaches, right? And I do agree with the analogy Jay just used with the cooking analogy. But if we look at the teams in the past 19 years and the NBA championship teams, only maybe you could say the Detroit Pistons won a team without like a clear-cut superstar. Most of these teams that won had 1 and 2 legit number 1 superstars on it. You see what I'm saying?
but the Pistons had awesome, like the Pistons had.
Right. No, I agree. But I'm talking about a clear-cut superstar.
You're
they
right.
are good. They are good stars,
You're
not
right.
one clear star.
Right. Exactly. But
They are good
have
top second tier stars, not one tier star.
Right. So at the end of the day, you need the players. You need four Hall of Famers. You need the players, man. Now, some coaches could do more with it,
Yeah.
but at the same time, you need the basis. You need the ingredients. So how about that, G? A chef can't cook without the ingredients, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So
Correct.
you need the ingredients. You need the players, man.
Agreed.
So I go on with the players.
All right, so that's a good
Hey,
point.
man, though, you're forced by going with you because you know basketball. I thought I was being proactive, looking smart. I am upset. I am upset.
It's cool, man. It's cool. You made a
All
great
right,
point.
that's a good point. And on from now, then let's try to stick to the time. James, thank you. Let's try this again. We have some more fun days to talk about. Next time I can't agree with Eddie until he says last vote.
I agree.
We go from there.
Hey,